When it comes to funding your philanthropy, make sure you're choosing the right asset. I spend so much of my time, I've been at Fidelity Charitable for 15 years, convincing people not to write checks to charity. Cash is great. Charities love to receive cash, check, whatever, but it's usually not the best asset for you, the donor, to give. Why is that? Because it's far more powerful to give an appreciated security of any kind to charity wherever possible. So one of the things that makes donor advised funds really appealing is, I'm just going to use an example of, let's just say you were super smart and you bought Apple stock 10 years ago and it's tripled in value, maybe quadrupled in value. You put $10,000 into Apple stock back then. It's now worth $40,000. If you wanted to give $40,000 to charity, your options are to write a check for $40,000, to give that stock $40,000 directly to the charity, or to sell the stock and fund philanthropy with the difference. So before we get to that bunching slide, Rory, I've got another slide that I want to show. If I give the cash, it's wonderful. I'll take the deduction on that $40,000 and it's good. What is very good is giving the appreciated stock directly to charity. Why is that? Because I mentioned you bought the stock for $10,000. It's now worth $40,000. So it's got the same value to the charity as your $40,000 check does. But there's $30,000 of gain there,
right,
in that Apple stock that you're going to avoid if you give that stock in kind to the charity. So far more powerful for you, because you'll get the same $40,000 charitable deduction, but you're missing out on $30,000 of capital gains. So you could do the math on 20% capital gains rate on $30,000, exactly what that means. So that's just one example of an asset that's appreciated. One of the nice things about a donor advised fund is not every charity is equipped to handle appreciated stock. There's certainly not, many of them are not equipped to take in more complicated appreciated securities. We would call them complex assets or non-publicly traded assets. I don't know how many in this audience this might apply to, but we have a group here at Fidelity Charitable that specializes in taking things that are non-publicly traded. So if you have a business and it's a partnership or an LLC or a C Corp, S Corp, we have our own attorneys on staff that are accustomed to taking in shares of private stock, for instance. Restricted stock is one that comes up a lot. Not all that easy to contribute restricted stock to a charity, but we have expertise in that. Cryptocurrency is another one. Cryptocurrency has been taking off. So these are all assets. We have publicly traded appreciated securities. We have privately held, non-publicly traded assets that we can accept, assets of all kinds. So let's get into the heart of one of the things I talked about earlier, which is complex assets. I mentioned some of the assets that we can accept: restricted stock, cryptocurrency, privately held business interests, private equity, real estate even. We don't take real estate directly anymore, but we will if it's in a corporate wrapper. So we have a lot of clients who are real estate developers and they're building, let's say, a strip mall, and they're in a partnership and they're getting ready to sell the strip mall, and they'll make a gift ahead of the sale of partnership interests to Fidelity Charitable. And then Fidelity Charitable is made whole. So their account at Fidelity Charitable is made whole when the sale of the partnership actually comes to fruition. A couple important things to remember with these sorts of gifts is you want to make these gifts ahead of a completed sale. So the IRS doesn't want you to make this gift after you already have a signed contract on your business. So if you do have assets that look like these, really great to have a conversation with Rory and see if it has legs, and he'll bring me in if need be.
Even if it's less than a $25 million business, that works too. The numbers don't have to be multi-million to have an impact on your own personal tax return.